Good evening, dear viewers. Welcome once again to our program Escuchando, where we analyze real cases and listen to people like you. Today, we meet Mr. Carlos Espinel, researcher at the Colombian Corporation for Agricultural Research, Agrosavia, entomologist and doctor in insect virology, and a great sports lover, especially football. Dr. Espinel, thank you very much for giving us some of your time and coming to share your ideas on such an important and delicate subject, which today is still present even in a space of fun and entertainment for everyone, and that is racism in Colombian sport. At global level, there have been several cases of intolerance and racist episodes against some sportsmen and women, especially football players. Faced with this situation, some specialists in human society as individual behavior argue that racism comes from non-acceptance of difference, behavior that dates back to colonial times. In the case of sport, these attitudes not only seek to affect human dignity, but also to destabilize their emotional state and to achieve sporting results. Dr. Espinel, do you know of any cases of racism in sports in Colombia?
At the moment, I don't remember any specific case in Colombia, but I think that racism in sport can occur among different roles, such as players, fans, judges, and sports coaches. It is not only towards people of color or Afro-descendants, but even towards those with different conditions that stand out, such as hair color. I remember when Neymar, with his yellow-colored hair, accused a player shooting monkey at him.
Very interesting your contribution. Additional, this kind of aggressions can happen even by sports narrators, as what happened in the classic between Boca and River, where the narrator Alitio Costa called monkey and ape to a Boca player.
Yes.
But, well, back to the national level, in March this year, there was a case of racism towards Águilas Doradas player Marco Perez, who denounced discriminatory aggressions after a match against Unión Magdalena by the captain of the rival team, Alexander Mejia. He said exactly, "I am a little bit sad because Mejia calls me a slave." And that's a word we can't use here in Colombia. The accused and his team denied what had happened and argued that what he had said was a lie and that the victim had acted out of the frustration at having lost. But who is right? What do you think, Dr. Carlos?
Well, in these cases, the competent entity, such as the Mayor Division of Colombian Football, the DIMAYOR, should investigate in the case of professional teams such as Deportivo Cali, Atlético Bucaramanga, Millonarios, among others. Okay. And in the case of the Colombian national team, it will be the Colombian Federation of Football. These two entities are in charge of studying each case and defining the sanctions to be imposed, which can be financial as well as disciplinary.
It is true. In Colombia in 2011, Law 1453 was enacted, which amended the criminal code and included the chapter with recommendations for the prevention of acts of violence in sporting events, both outside and inside the sports infrastructure. This same law regulates incitement to violence as well as physical or verbal aggressions to sporting. Public, residential, or commercial infrastructure when a sport event takes place and establishes sanctions. This community service, however, the law does not provide for specific sanctions for racist and discriminatory behavior. On the other hand, Decree number 1007 of 2012, which issues the Statute of Football Supporters in Colombia, establish obligations for supporters. Article 31 prohibits, among other things, carrying or displaying posters, flags, symbols, or other signs with message inciting violence, including racist or xenophobic message, even shading discriminatory, racist, or xenophobic songs. However, the provisions refers to law 1045 and 1053 to establish sanctions which do not provide for specific sanctions for racist or discriminatory conduct. In any case, Law 1453 provides the sanctions for incitement to physical or verbal aggressions in a sporting context. In the case of physical aggressions, fines to 20 to 100 legal monthly minimum wages and a ban on access to sports venues for 1 to 3 years are envisaged. In the case of verbal aggressions, fines of 1 to 12 minimum monthly wages and a ban on access to sporting venues. Dr. Carlos, what do you think about the fact in Colombia there are no specific sanctions for racist behavior in sporting arenas?
Well, it is very regrettable. Colombia has an enormous blog of this issue.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Spain has the law against violence, racist, xenophobia, and intolerance in sport, which is applied by the State Anti-Violence Commission. In case of aggressions of this kind, Article 510 of the Penal Code
Mm-hmm.
punishes hate crimes with 1 and up to 4 years imprisonment.
It is true. We must not only work on strengthening the laws that punish this type of discriminatory acts, but it is also necessary to work on educating people. We must learn to be tolerant on difference and to enjoy sporting events with respect and joy. Well, Dr. Spinel, our time is coming to an end. Thank you very much for your contributions, and we invite you to stay connected with listening to people like you. Good evening, and thank you.
Of course, thank you very much for the invitation. Bye bye.
Bye bye.